there's no credit score check. So they're not pulling your credit at all. No credit check required. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel. So about a month ago, I dropped a video on different financial institutions, credit unions, and banks that will give you a loan even if you have very bad credit with absolutely no hard credit check. Now, these are more or less quick loans, payday loan alternatives. Now, they don't pull your credit, which is a big benefit, especially if you have less than perfect credit, because it's becoming more challenging to get approved for personal loans. Interest rates are going up and lenders overall are just becoming more stringent, increasing the underwriting criteria. So with these quick loans, you could definitely take advantage and get access to some capital. So in today's video, I'm gonna be dropping part 2. So this is a follow-up on some more institutions where you can get a no credit check loan. Now, these are small dollar amount loans, but they do add up. And I'm actually going to be walking through some of the prerequisites. Now, most of these do have a certain time period that you have to wait in order for you to be able to be eligible. For example, DCU has quick loans from $1,000 to $2,000 with no credit check. However, to get $1,000, you do have to be a member for at least 90 days. And to be eligible for $2,000, you have to be a member for at least 180 days. Now, the other criteria is generally having some type of direct deposit. Let's say you have a job, you're getting a direct deposit. Basically, all you would have to do is open up a checking account at one of these institutions that offer a no credit check loan, and then just switch your direct deposit. Now, you don't have to put your whole paycheck in there, so you can have multiple disbursements. So you can link multiple checking accounts to your payroll. But one of the biggest prerequisites to getting these no credit check loans is actually having a payroll provider. Now, one of the best payroll providers out there, if not the largest, is ADP. So one of the great things about having a payroll provider is that you actually get the pay stubs. So once you get set up with your payroll provider, let's say you have a small business, you get set up with the ADP account, then you can run payroll. So you can literally manufacture legally your own pay stubs. And so then you could take those pay stubs when you're getting asked for income verification or proof of income at different financial institutions, you could provide them with pay stubs. And with ADP, they have an integration with Plastiq. With Plastiq, you can use a business credit card to fund your payroll. So you could literally pay yourself from your business using your business credit card through ADP's integration with Plastiq. You'll actually get a direct deposit. So you'll actually have bank statements that show your direct deposit hitting your personal account, and you're going to have pay stubs to supply. So if you go and apply to any loans, whether that's auto loans, personal loans, a mortgage, vehicle loans, you have the documentation. Now, when it comes to this credit game, it's all about having paperwork. You can legally manufacture your pay stubs if you have a payroll provider such as ADP. Now, ADP is the big dog in the payroll provider. However, if you don't want to go with ADP, you can also check out Gusto. I highly recommend Gusto. And right now, Gusto actually will give you $200 when you run a payroll. And if you have 10 or more employees, you can earn $400. I've dropped a link in the description of the video. Now, personally, I do recommend ADP because they're a bigger company and they just have more features and functionality. But if you want something very simple, if you're a smaller business and you don't have that many employees, you could definitely get Gusto. Gusto is very straightforward. And actually, before we dive into all the different lenders that offer these no credit check loans, I just want to show you guys how to create your pay stubs even through Gusto. Now, there's a couple different ways you can go about paying yourself. Now, you can either do a W-2, which is the traditional payroll where they're going to be withholding taxes and things like that. And then you could also pay yourself as a 1099 contractor. Now, again, this is not legal, financial, or tax advice, but I'm just showing you guys how you can actually do this, create your own pay stubs through a payroll provider. Let's say you want to pay yourself through 1099, you don't want to withhold taxes. All you got to do is go to, when you get set up, go to pay contractors, and then right here it says create payment. So you're just going to click on this. Now, before you get to this point, you do have to onboard the contractors. So right here, you can actually enter the payment. So if you just click this button right here, you can specify how many hours that they work within a period. So let's say it's 1,000 hours or, 100 hours. Then it has the wage that they're actually going to get paid. And right here, you can set up direct deposit. So the money goes directly to the checking account. So when you're opening up these different checking accounts to qualify for the no credit check loan, basically all you got to do is click here. And then from here, you can enter in the account number and routing number, and you can actually specify how much money you want dispersed or what percentage of the paycheck you want to go to each account. All right, so right here is the summary. So before you actually submit, they'll just lay out exactly how much is being debited, which contractor it's going to, how much, and on what date the money's going to leave your business checking account, and what date the contractor is actually going to get paid. So again, this is coming from your business checking account. account and it's going to the personal checking account. Now, after payroll is run, it's actually going to generate some pay stubs. So then you could take those pay stubs and say, hey, look, I got paid $2,500. This is the day that I was actually paid, and it's going to be reflected on your personal bank statement. So if a lender asks you for pay stubs or bank statements, you got evidence, you got proof of income. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, so we have the prerequisites, you got your checking account and you have your payroll set up, whether you have a job or whether you have a small business. So right here, you have NIH FCU. They have a help loan, right? So this is up to $1,000 in emergency funds. And this is for members who must provide 2 recent pay stubs to qualify. So like I just said, you set up with your payroll provider, you have the proof of income, you have the documents to supply to get this loan. And NIH FCU is open to anyone nationwide. There's absolutely no geographic restrictions. So you guys could check this one out. NIH FCU $1,000 emergency help loan. Next up on the list, we have US Bank. So US Bank, you could borrow up to $1,000 in $100 increments. And this is a quick loan, simple loan, very easy to get. Now, you do have to have a US Bank checking account and be an existing member in order to apply for this one. So right here, we have the Truist Ready Now loan. Now, this is a payday loan alternative where you can get up to $1,000 in $100 increments. You do have to be an existing customer and you need to have a personal checking account that has been open at least 6 months. The minimum loan amount is $100 and the maximum loan amount is $1,000. You will also have to provide a valid social security number and you do need to be a US citizen or permanent resident. Next up, we have Service Credit Union. Now with Service Credit Union, you can get up to $2,000, right? So this is a quick loan and it has terms out to 12 months, fast approval, no hidden fees, and it will help you build your credit with timely payments. Next up on the list, we have Golden One Credit Union. So you can borrow up to $1,500 or up to $2,500 with a guarantor or a cosigner, no collateral required, and low interest rates. And this is perfect for establishing credit. So this is the credit starter loan from Golden One Credit Union. Next up, we have Mission Fed Credit Union, instant short-term loans. So basically you can get up to $1,000 fast cash loan amount, 6-month repayment term, APR 28%. There's no credit score check, so they're not pulling your credit at all. Now to qualify, you must be at least 18 years old, have at least $20 in a checking or savings account, and a current mailing address within the United States. Also very important, must have a direct deposit with a minimum of $1,500 for each of the last 3 months. Next up on the list, we have Greater Nevada Credit Union. So loans from $200 to $2,000 for eligible members. No credit check required. Immediate approvals and funding directly to your account. Next up on the list, we have Signature Federal Credit Union Fast Cash Loans. So you can get loans as low as $200 all the way up to $1,000. There is a $20 application fee. And right here, net direct deposit must come to the credit union for 2 consecutive payrolls. Next up on the list, we have the Thrive Credit Union Short-Term Small Dollar Loan Program. Credit limits from $100 up to $750, repayment over 6 months. Now, right down here, income verification is required, but if you've listened to what I've been talking about and you have your payroll set up, that's not a problem at all. Now, right here, we have a game changer. This is from Redstone Federal Credit Union, quick and easy short-term loans. All right, so they have a couple different programs, right? So they have the stretch and save loans, minimum of $500 all the way up to $2,000. They also have the payday alternative loans, minimum of $200 up to $500 maximum. And then they have the payday loan alternative 2. So a minimum of $501 all the way up to $1,500. Next up on the list, we have Tucson Federal Credit Union. No credit check, fast cash loans. Loan amounts available from $200 to $2,000. No credit check required. Fixed interest rate up to 12-month terms. Available 24/7. And there's only a small $20 application fee. All right, so there you have it. So I wanted to share with you some additional financial institutions where you can get no credit check loans. Now, the common thread with a lot of these different quick loans, payday alternative loans, these are small dollar amounts. So usually these are going to be amounts generally less than $5,000, but usually around $1,000 to $2,000. And most of them are going to require a certain time length for you to be a member, especially at the credit unions. It's all going to vary. So definitely make sure you do your own due diligence when you're applying for these different loans. But most importantly, having a direct deposit set up. Now, personally, I recommend ADP. They have a ton of different functionality. You can pay yourself with a business credit card. card. But if that's a little bit too sophisticated for you and you just want a very simple, easy to use functionality, you can use Gusto. So with Gusto, as well as with ADP, you could pay yourself through a W-2 or through a 1099. Now with a W-2, you got all the state, federal tax withholdings, but with the 1099, there's no withholdings through the payroll provider, but you still are responsible for that at the end of the year. Again, this is not financial or tax advice. Now, once you have all your paperwork set up, you have your direct deposits that are reflected in your checking account, and you have, most importantly, those pay stubs. Those pay stubs will provide you with proof of income. So when you're applying for different loans, not just the quick loans, but any type of loans, sometimes even credit cards, personal loans, higher dollar amount loans, mortgages, they may ask you for income verification. I know a lot with vehicle loans, they're going to ask you for pay stubs. Once you get set up with the payroll provider, you're going to have the proof of income. You're going to have the documentation to be able to get approved. So at the end of the day, all it is a paperwork game. So there's no reason why you can't get access to at least $3,000 or $4,000 through all the different lenders that I provided for you. So let's say you get started today. This is the beginning of 2023, January. Just run payroll for a minimum of 2 cycles, right? And you probably should run it, indefinitely, but minimum of 2 cycles. That's going to give you 2 pay stubs. Most institutions require the last 2 pay stubs, right? You hear that all the time. So once you have those pay stubs, you have the proof of income. And since this is a beginning of a new year, everything restarts over, right? So we're starting from January. It's very early in the month. So you can get your payroll set up right now. So by the time February starts to hit, you'll have proof of income, and you can go to these different institutions and then be able to qualify for a lot of these no credit check loans. Or if you just want to apply for, unsecured loans, higher dollar amount, at least you have the proof of income, right? That's one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people face. They might have the credit score, but do you have the income? And one of the reasons why I'm able to get approved for a lot of different loans and lines of credit and credit cards is because I have the paperwork. I have the documentation to provide. Lenders aren't just looking at your trade lines or your AUs or whatever type of shortcuts. They really are going to be looking at, do you have the ability to repay based off of your income verification? And it's not just paper documentation, right? Because with ADP and Gusto, there's also electronic record, and lenders have access to some of these different third-party data vendors that collect payroll information. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Let me know your comments and questions down below. And until next time, take it easy and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.